Good afternoon, everyone. For the Redevelopment Commission meeting, August 8th of 2022. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'd like to call the meeting to order. First order on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the June 7th meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review? Any changes or comments? Can I get a motion to approve?
Moved. Second.
All in favor? All right, done. Second order of business is the claims approval. Several claims have been passed around the commission totaling $59,332.71. Being any other comments or questions, can I get a motion to approve and pay?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye, approved. Old business.
Also, Mr. Chairman, the bond payments that have been issued both for the Madison Plaza bond and the Riverton bond were in your packet as well for information. Parker?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
So, a couple of update items for you guys. One is pretty much just overarching about the plan, kind of reformatted a little bit. So I wanted to talk about that, and then I have this time of the year, we've worked with the county to start certifying assessed values for 2023, and so I've kind of got a bit of an AV and then revenue update for everyone.
Great.
So as far as the plan goes, I've been working quite a bit with Tony the past couple months and the rest of the city to better organize the way the expenditures are shown. So looking at things more from a high project overview standpoint now, to where we'll have individual projects underneath. So Destination Madison's a great point. You see the sub-projects underneath the overall umbrella term of Destination Madison. So you can better off see where those are at, timeline goes for those as well. And then any project within that that's even going to have further broken down expenditures, you'll even see it down to that level. Another page that's going to be different this month that I want to kind of open the floor up for discussion is page 5. It says indebtedness, ignore that. But I wanted to provide you guys with a quick, just jump into the plan. What's this monthly snapshot? The details in the back if you still want it, but I wanted to give you guys a quick page to where you could look at it, see cash, see your claims, then see ending cash. And so that's what page 5 aims to do. If there's other items really quick that you guys would like to see, I can definitely keep this page changing a little bit until you guys get it to where you want it to be. I want you guys to still have the detail, but I also want to give you guys the opportunity to at least have a quick one-pager within the report that you can stop at if you're just doing a quick read or something like that, and then still get the gist of what all is going on in the RDC for that month.
Can you just grab on it? Maybe I don't have a number.
What is just the financial update packet that I've gotten. It's
yeah, but what's the page look like you're referring to?
I'm sorry, page 5. So,
that one?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's just where I started it for the time being. I want to have discussions with you guys as far as what you want to see on that. But moving forward, we'll get it to where you guys want it to be. So that's the plan update. And then as far as AV and revenue goes for next year, so this year was roughly about 56, 57 million in assessed value within Madison's TIF areas. Right now, next year we're looking anywhere from about 61 to 62 million. So about 5 million increase in assessed values. Generally speaking, right now, property tax rates are going to get changed here looking at next year as the auditors are certifying assessed values. But roughly speaking, right at about $100,000 to $150,000 in revenue increase, property taxes for next year. Those are kind of ballpark scenarios for the time being. Once we get closer to the end of this year, I'll get more concrete data and then keep you guys updated as those numbers change. But for the time being, assessed values are moving in the right direction. So that is all I've got for this month. Unless anyone has any more specific questions, I'll get them answered.
Parker, when does the decrement process occur? Is that every other year or is that every year?
No, so that's pretty much an as you choose to do it. So the city went through that back in 2019. That all since that's been seen and recognized. So 2 or 3 years ago, I'm trying to put myself on the spot. There was a large assessed value jump and then revenue jump, and that was basically because you guys went through the pruning process. So that's pretty much done. Let's say 5-10 years down the road, we see there's a lot more dilapidated properties or stuff that just aged over time and gone down in value. We could do it again, but for the time being, it's nothing that's cyclical. It's kind of
Parker just sort of gave a quick definition of what the decrement process was. If you remember, we did go through that, and there were properties that we took out and then put them back in at a new base assessed value, so that we could capture increment on them rather than them creating a detriment, so to speak, to the actual assessed value and TIF revenues from the TIF district. Okay.
well put.
You may also notice, he highlighted page 5, but page 4 of the financial review, financial update, does include the new TIF allocation area in it that we created, which was the Super ATV
Yep. correct.
area. So it's great to see that the district is growing and that we're going to have more revenues to work with next year. As you know, we have quite a bit of new investment occurring on the hilltop. We won't see the benefit of that until probably 24, 25.
Yep. It's a good timeline, yeah.
So there's more coming, is really the emphasis here with the investment we're making in the TIF district. It is creating additional revenue for us a couple years out.
Have you made any adjustments for inflation on the outlays for higher costs or interest rates?
I'll defer to Tony on that one, but I believe as far as cost estimates for a lot of the projects that you guys have within, that you've been providing me to plug in here, those,
Yeah, no, we haven't, I mean, on the current projects, those estimates were created in the last, 6 months, so those estimates should have included inflationary costs. In terms of increased interest costs for future borrowing, that will be factored in as a part of our estimates moving forward.
Great.
thank you,
Any other
everyone.
questions? Thanks, Parker.
Yep.
Thank you, Parker.
Nicole, you want to talk about Clifty Drive?
Good afternoon. You should have 3 administrative settlements on your agenda for discussion. These were all approved for purchasing of right-of-way, but in negotiations with the owners, we have recommended these administrative settlements for adjusted amounts, and I can go through each one if you'd like.
No, I think
Those were on a,
we've seen this before, yeah.
we've approved those, but those were listed with our payments.
For the settlement, there should be 3 settlement adjustments and then
Yes, yeah, these
several
right here.
claims.
Yeah, there should be
Yes.
3, these are 3 new, yes.
These right
Yes.
here, yeah.
So we need a motion to approve those 3.
Yeah, do you have any questions? Does anybody have any questions on, these are the right-of-ways for Clifty Drive, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. It's for parcel 11, parcel 3, and parcel 5.
Do you want to give the redevelopment commission a quick update on the timing of the project?
Yep, so we're completing right-of-way purchases hopefully by the end of the month. Final stage 3 plans should be submitted hopefully today to NDOT from our team. I have a follow-up with NDOT later this week, but letting is scheduled for February 2023, and then we'll get construction going. We're combining our project with 3 other NDOT projects, so Clifty Drive may be a little bit of a mess next year, but it's going to be a complete package once it's all finished.
And Nicole, just how many more properties are left to deal with right away?
After today's claims, there should be 1 left, I believe.
So one more. So we do need a motion.
So can we get a motion to move forward with the approval of the purchase of the Clifty Drive right-of-way?
And I'll need authorization for the mayor to sign the settlement agreement.
and authorization for the mayor to sign.
Second.
All in favor? Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I wanted to present to you a capital plan that we've been working on for the last few weeks. Parker alluded to that as a part of his presentation. As a part of that plan, you will notice that we've maintained the revenue at a conservative number in terms of the assessed value and the fund balances moving forward. We've tried to take the various documents over the last 3 or 4 years and have finally distilled those down into some priorities, as well as understanding the ready dollars that have come into the city to fund those projects. So you'll see the capital outlay plans for 2022 and 2023, as well as some look into 24 through 27. There's really no major surprises, I think, or any major additions. A couple things that I will highlight. We have added some additional dollars in for the downtown parking study, wayfinding, and implementation from the study that you paid for earlier in the year. We have identified some work for the support of parks and recreation, which was in previous plans. We've identified the Oak Park as a project to support this year. And then basically continuing the support of Cub Industries and the PACE funding fully, and adding some dollars for the public art initiative for the city. So again, with leaving a cash reserve balance as a priority, this plan's fully funded.
Just one quick point as far as how the organization of the flow of the document goes. As you guys know, having multiple TIF areas, each need their own fund, and then as we have bonds and stuff like that, each need their own fund. So with us trying to fund projects across 6 to 9 different funds, I wanted to give you guys an overall picture of essentially what's the RDC look like, everything flowing into one spot. So you'll see pages 3 through 4 are an RDC overall picture. That is exactly what that is. And then as you guys flip through the rest of the document, you will see more of what do each of the funds particularly look like. So bond funds, we have the capital, the prep funds, items like that.
Parker, may I ask you a clarification?
Yeah.
Which page were you just referring to?
So this is going to be on the long-term capital planning document. There are
Okay,
2
4.
right now. But
Okay, it's back here. I'm sorry, this is after this quarter project report. Okay, thank you.
So 3 through 4 are summaries, and then on page 5, for instance, what is that?
So page 5 is going to
Just
be
North
just
Madison?
just the North Madison allocation area.
Okay.
So pretty much your main area. You'll see your detailed revenues and your detailed expenditures.
And on the next page,
And
got
then
it.
the next page will be moving into the Madison Plaza area, which right now you'll notice that the expenditure tab is pretty much empty. That's just simply because we've not allocated any expenditures particularly to that area. Once revenues start to flow in, we can start doing a little more of a shifting around of maybe alleviating some from the North Madison allocation area and utilizing those revenues. But we'll leave that for closer to 2024, 25, once we see revenues coming.
So we're
Okay.
showing a revenue in 2025 out of the out of the Madison Plaza allocation area starting to roll within close to $400,000 of new revenue showing into the TIF district for 2026. If you remember, the North Madison Plaza area will have its life expectancy from the time at which we issue debt. So we'll be able then to have the North Madison Plaza revenue in as future revenue for a long time, coming in, we think, in 2025 at the beginning, with a modest amount of tax revenue then, growing to its full amount in 2026. Because again, we're a year behind on assessments here, so while it'll
Okay.
be done in 2023, 24, so we're being conservative in estimating some revenue in 2025. last few pages are just the capital bond funds and the project funds that we've allocated, so that we have those to report. Any other questions on the capital plan? If not,
I would say
Yes.
that I really like the organization of it, broken down by fund, because one of the things we talked about is how do we maximize the benefit from the TIF allocation area? And what do we need to do in order to capture those revenues? Because these allocation areas do expire. So it's gonna be important for us to properly manage it through some leveraging, particularly in the primary North Madison allocation area.
because again, that allocation area expires in 2035.
35, I believe. So we're getting close to the point where it's gonna be difficult to leverage that allocation area, which is why we're, in addition to this capital plan, not only identifying the projects in which we would finance, but how we would finance them. And it's going to be through additional borrowing to capture the potential to move forward TIF revenues from the North Madison allocation area. If we don't, then what'll happen is we'll just get that increment a little bit each year until it expires, and then it's gone.
And as we talked before in the previous sessions, we're maintaining the current level of assessment. So as Parker just reminded everybody, assessments do go up each year. And so we'll continue to see that. We're being very conservative with maintaining a consistent assessed value to be conservative on the income side
Okay.
of that.
Can you summarize kind of just the vision on the capital plan, what we're spending the money on? And I think you did a really nice job with the presentation packet, but
It's a mix of priorities, quality of life and infrastructure, those things that would, create additional capital investment, such as Clifty Drive sidewalks, downtown grocery store, the park improvements to the city of Madison and our Destination Madison plan. That's also bringing in other ready sources. Those are probably some of the bigger ticket things. Certainly, the Sunrise Crossing, shops at Sunrise Crossing and then the residences at Sunrise Crossing is a big major investment by the Redevelopment Commission. That has a major stormwater management component to it. That's also collaboratively working with our flood mitigation plan for the Clifty Creek watershed. So those are four kind of big ticket things that's improving traffic safety, improving our parks, improving stormwater management, and adding more quality of life initiatives to Madison.
Quality of life initiatives, I think, would sum it up for attraction and retention of workers and residents to help fill the jobs that are being created. We know today that it's more and more competitive to attract workers. They look at the amenities of a community, they look at the park system, they look at the education system, they look at those other quality of life amenities, and those are the things that we're trying to improve upon.
And I'll mention too, one other thing is it's heavy on housing. The partnership with Habitat for Humanity, the new apartments coming in for residents at Sunrise Crossing. And then we're also looking at other property that the city owns to seeing if we can't co-develop that for housing too.
And, as those projects start to transpire, there's multiple ways the Redevelopment Commission can play a role in those housing projects, from bond authorizations to infrastructure improvements to subsidies as well. So as those projects start to transpire here in the next 12 months, we'll use all the tools in our toolkit to make those projects happen.
no, I think it's a good plan. I like that it's fully funded. That's
Fully
a
funded.
big,
With a surplus.
yeah.
Fully
That's a,
funded, but again, I mean, it's fully funded is relative. I'm going to make that point, which is it's going to cost a lot more, but because it's about partnering, it's about private capital attraction. That really, I think, is the real story here. Is that how do you turn $2 million into $20 million, or how do you take, like the Sunrise Crossing development, That's a $5 million investment by the City of Madison Redevelopment Commission. It's gonna create $55 million worth of new investment there that's much needed for our community in so many different ways. So that is that's the alchemy behind what we can do to leverage up our dollars the best way.
Any other comments or questions?
So just from a process standpoint, when would you start working on 2024? Are we 6 months, 8 months?
We're into 2024. Yeah, probably 6 to 8 months away. We're currently working through the projects in 2023 now. At this point, we're trying to get those finished, and then we'll move to 2024 and 2025. Most of those will probably revolve around housing.
Some of those might have long lead times, particularly if you have to go through any type of zoning, or a lot of housing is, financed through the issuance of taxes and bonds or tax credits issued by the state or in partnership with IEDC. So there's long lead times with a lot of these things.
There's also other tools that have been added to the redevelopment of the Redevelopment Commission, residential TIFs, and those sorts of tools that we haven't looked into thoroughly that Reedy has been advising us on as we look at these residential projects and how can we leverage some of those new tools that are available to be able to use. So we'll continue to look at all those tools as those projects come about.
Great. Thank you. With no other questions or comments, can I get a motion to approve the capital plan as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
I provided you today with an update on Franks Drive and Cliffy Drive intersection. We have some exciting news to announce today at the Plan Commission of a national fast casual restaurant that has interest in Madison, needing a zoning change. We also need to improve the intersection at Franks Drive and Cliffy Drive. That's West Franks Drive, or East Franks Drive and Cliffy Drive. I've laid in front of you, hot off the press, quick little sketch for you to understand what that might be. And I would ask for a motion from the RDC to have the mayor enter into an agreement with Jacoby, Toombs, and Lance to study that intersection and develop a budget for the implementation of that improvements.
Any questions or comments on this?
Is that, are the fees already baked into their contract now, or will these be additional?
These would be an additional fees for a new project.
But we don't have there's not an estimate on that.
I don't have an estimate. This has been happening really quickly, and I'd just like permission to move forward with the mayor, to have the ability to
We put
negotiate.
cap on
Enter
fees if you like,
We put a cap on them.
$25,000.
That would work.
Sounds good.
We'll have a more detailed plan at the next
I don't think it'll cost
RDC.
that much,
I
but
don't.
there's probably ample
Okay.
room for that.
So can we get a motion for the mayor to enter negotiations with Jacoby,
Toombs
Toomey.
and Lands.
Toombs and Land?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
Thank you. The last item I have today is in your packet is a quarterly RDC funded projects update. It's a report that I've been working on for the last few months to try to get to a document that I think will be helpful for you as members of the commission, as well as for our city council ultimately. Again, that report will talk about some strategic highlights again. Those strategic highlights that I think are important to talk about are certainly the ready projects. Two of those projects were approved on Friday, and we've actually are in the bidding process for those as we speak. Construction is in the process with Sunrise Crossing. Things are going extremely well. We haven't run into any major unforeseen issues at this time. And all that is working extremely well. They're actually ahead of schedule, so we're happy to hear that at this point. There'll be a look ahead to what we're looking to do, what you think might happen. I would say that one thing to add, we are going to rebid the land, the crop lease for the land that we own in the industrial park that the RDC has. That crop lease has not been bid out since 2014, and so we'll be planning on rebidding that out here this fall. And then throughout the document, you'll see each project in alphabetical order of the projects that this redevelopment commission is involved with. Again, sometimes the projects are partially funded, sometimes the projects are fully funded. And you can see that there's several pages of projects. So again, we'll try to keep you updated on major changes to those. And if you have any questions or need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
Tony, on this document, this is a fantastic document. We've been talking about this for a long time because there's so much going on. Tony and Alyssa have done a fantastic job finally assembling it and working also with Parker and Gary and the whole Reedy team on the financial plan about funding it. But as you go through here, I want to thank you for all your support on these projects. Some of these have been in the works for years that are finally coming to fruition. But it also is a reminder of the impact that this TIF district, I think, is having all across the city with the investment it's making, not only the investment it's making, but the investment it's attracting by others. That's really where the power of the Redevelopment Commission, I think, has. It's doing quintessential redevelopment work to attract new capital investment for the city. One recommendation on maybe the report is to have a summary page at the front with a number, so we can quickly see there's 20 projects, list the name of the project, total investment cost, RDC portion of it, and then other funding sources, so that you can just get a quick summary of it. But this is great information, and you'll see it's infrastructure, quality of life, housing, and business development. It's great stuff.
Yeah, I like the way it's laid out. Nice job.
Yeah, open to any other suggestions too. This is a living document, so.
It's a good job. I mean, we needed something like this put together for a while.
We're getting there. It's taken a while, right, to get more sophisticated, more organized, but we're also making a bigger difference than ever before. I'm thrilled to see all the progress, and this is in conjunction with what the city is also doing and what our public-private partnerships, the impact that they're having all across the community.
Yeah, so we'll have another report here towards the end of the year and updates, and hopefully we have some more exciting news to share at that point. So one other thing, I will let you know that we are in final lease negotiations on the Madison Plaza project, and we hope to be able to announce maybe at the next city council meeting the fourth tenant. So that should be coming soon. It's just a matter of making sure the ink's dry before we can announce it. So things are moving forward there, and we're very pleased with that progress. So.
That's great.
Bob?
Well, I have a couple things to mention. You want to talk about the closing that we had this afternoon?
You can.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you wanted to.
You do. You go ahead.
Well, today we closed on the real estate with the Port Authority, City of Madison Port Authority, which is the 22 acres the Redevelopment Commission agreed to sell to the Port Authority for the creation of a transloading facility on Industrial Drive. We're excited about the investment that they're making there that will provide additional transportation options for businesses and industry that want to use Jefferson County as either a transloading facility to take it off to rail or to put it onto trucks. So anyway, that real estate closing occurred today. If you recall, we agreed to sell that property to them for about $200,000. So the check is with the clerk's office now. That'll hit our finances at the next financial review. Tony mentioned a little bit about Ready. Last Friday, we received Regional Development Authority approval, which then now goes to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, funding of two of our Ready projects. We've been awarded $2.6 million for Destination Madison, which is our gateway enhancements by the bridge, as well as the enhancements to the Mulberry Street Arcs Corridor, this parking lot here, and the parking lot behind the Comfort Station. What I want to say about that in addition is, if you recall, we did a parking study several months ago, and some of the conclusions there was we didn't need to build a parking garage, but what we needed to have was better wayfinding for the existing parking that we had. And there was an unfinished parking plan with the downtown comfort station that we're now able to complete with these Ready Grant dollars. There'll also be new parking and amenities located right off of the bridge as our gateway plan. That'll include a spot for electric vehicle charging, pedestrian access to the bridge, walkway, as well as, general parking there, water fountains, public art, and just a nice greenscape amenity for when you come across to the gateway into Madison and to the state of Indiana. That happened because of the investment the Redevelopment Commission was willing to make and the planning that we did to submit our workforce and destination development plans. Lastly, I'll mention that a new school superintendent has been hired for Madison Consolidated High School. She was unable to make it to the meeting today. We're waiting on the high school to nominate her for appointment as the advisory board member to the Redevelopment Commission. And so we'll have her in attendance at the next meeting, and we'll share with you prior to that her resume and background. She comes to the city of Madison from North Vernon High School. So she will be joining the Redevelopment Commission in an advisory capacity beginning at the next meeting. We still have one Redevelopment Commission membership spot open that we're continuing to recruit for. Any suggestions you all might have would be great. They do need to live in the city of Madison. Happy to answer any questions. Lots going on, as you can tell. We're continuing to make progress on so many different fronts, and it's an exciting time.
You got a lot of great things going on. Any other questions or comments for the mayor? Anything else to discuss?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, with, next meeting is September the 6th. There's no other items on the agenda. I could take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.